Can I get a left back who knows how to cross the ball? Whose name isn't Marcus Jeremiah Alonso? Why does Willian keep on playing on the right?
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
All that matters is winning. All that matters is winning. Winning, 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 because it is very important that Chelsea are in the Champions League for the oncoming of Werner, of course, Ziyech, of course, Sancho, potentially Neymar or Mbappe. So a win is a win. It shouldn't have been this problematic. Aston Villa, Villa were there to get pimp slapped. They were there for a pimping, and I'm not sure whether Villa will even survive this season. So we're just going to just break things down. I think overall, it was a solid performance. I would have wanted more incision, 100%. And this is almost going to be like a ABC 1 to 3 of what do you do to break a deep block? How do you break down a team that have men behind the ball? So Chelsea had possession of the ball, but this is what I always say with possession. Possession is one of the biggest misconceptions in football, because the problem when you have loads of possession is that you get into a falsehood. You get into a falsehood of control and a falsehood of superiority in a game. And that is where you have a lapse in concentration. Because Villa were like, all right, look, it is what it is. We're the inferior team playing against the superior team. Let them have the ball. But then once they slip up, boom, because once you have the possession of the ball so much, you almost forget how to defend. You almost forget about what it means to be in defensive position. So once you now have to defend, you're like, oh, geez, what are we supposed to do? Because we're not defending for the last 20 or 30 minutes. So it is very important that when you have possession of the ball and when you're in control of the game, you make it count. You make it count. Anyone that says N'Golo Kante needs to be sold, you're a moron. Please, can someone please, the dude that says that he wants N'Golo Kante to be swapped, I want you to please say what's up. Please, so the person that says he wants, so if you're in here, because there was a dude that said that N'Golo Kante ain't that good, he should be sold. Kante is one of the most valuable players in the world. I would argue he's maybe the most valuable player in the world. And why do I say that? He brings you value in defense, he brings you value in midfield, and he brings you value going forward. This dude can be anything. He's a chameleon. Do you want me to be a DM? Sure. Do you want me to be box to box? Sure. Do you want me to spray the ball around like Pirlo? Sure. Do you want me to make nice little incisive passes in the center? Sure. Do you want me to score goals? Sure. Kante is whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And also, by the way, I never get tired. And by the way, I never even complain or even shout. And I'm actually very well behaved. Kante is invaluable, and there is no price on Kante. There is no price. 1 bill, 2.5 bill, 3 bill, 8 bill. I sell Kante for nothing. Nothing. There is nothing you can give me to sell your boy Golo. Okay. Golo ain't going nowhere. Okay, okay. Golo can. Golo can ain't going nowhere. So this is the issues I have. There's a reason why he has a PhD. There's a reason why he has a PhD. The only reason why this guy has a career or as a professional footballer is because he finds a way to score goals. If this dude did not score any goals, he might arguably be in the same category as Nyong. The only difference between this dude and Nyong is that this dude can score goals. And against where this guy has scored 2 goals in one game, and this guy is a very good free kick taker. Take away his goals, he is useless. Chelsea, the priority, this is what I said before, the priority is a left back. Please give me a left back that can get a cross into the box. Please give me a left back who is looking and knows of the kind of cross that he wants to deliver in. See, the thing with Azpilicueta is this. Because it was his cross that led to the goal by the sick. But how many crosses do you need to get that cross into the box? This guy needed about 500, 600 crosses. And Azpilicueta has zero skill. Zero skill. So, if you're a smart team, get a man on Azpilicueta, mark him tight, because he'll never get past you and doesn't really have the speed to get into position. So he's very limited offensively. So the best way to nullify Azpilicueta is just get tight, man. Make sure that you don't give him any space, because Azpilicueta If you give him space, he's a decent crosser. He's a much better crosser than Alonso. But the thing about this is that Reece James is far better because he's far more mobile and he brings far more swag and sex into that offensive end. Alonso, take away Alonso's goals, this dude is useless. This dude has to rank as one of the most useless football players on the planet. On the planet, I would almost change the formation around or play Santa Claus, play Shegun Kari, play anybody in place of this dude at left back. But it is what it is. This is something that I think even Daniel brought up, or other people have brought up. Actually, wait a minute. Let me, because I want to actually get your boy Ford up in here. Actually, this is a dude that we brought. Like, why does Willian play on the right? Because obviously you see Willian constantly trying to cut in and play as an inside forward. So why does he keep on playing him? I want to try and bring in Ford into this whole thing, man. All right. Here's something to join. You know, why does he keep playing him on the right? It makes no flipping sense. It makes no flipping sense, man. So, my thing is this. If you're going to play William, please play him on the left. Please play him on the left. But I think the issue is this, and I think, it says, how do you break down? Because Villa was here to play games. They were there just to do it, which is good. I get it. Like, I have no issue with teams that sit 10 men behind the ball because, see, I always say that whenever people argue that, oh my gosh, they didn't play football, they just packed double-decker buses. So they've passed double-decker buses, which means that you have as much possession of the ball you want. You can only score if you have the ball. So it's not about what they're doing. Focus on what you're doing. So the focus should never be about, oh, look at how many men they have behind the ball. The focus should be, what can we now do now that we have the ball? What can we do imaginatively, creatively when we have the ball? And the thing is this. The thing that frustrates me with Chelsea is that you're giving the ball to a winger 3 billion yards away from the 18-yard box, which is where the danger is. And they're crossing from 3 yards away. Billion playing in numbers game. You're playing in numbers game, like, hopefully we'll get across that fortuitously will come in. Whereas what you need to do is two things. Either you create space for a shot and not shoot and hope for a ricochet, or you have to move the ball quickly. The ball has to be moved quickly. How did Chelsea get the second goal? Chelsea got the second goal because it was pass and move. And this is what Barcelona do very, very well, which is, okay, have your men behind the ball, but when we move the ball, boom, boom, boom. And because the thing about this is this. If you play slow against a defensive team, that means they have time to position themselves, put themselves in the good areas, look at how they're marking, and therefore it is harder for you to get the ball to your player to score. If you now move the ball quickly, it's one such. It is difficult to know where guys are going because the ball is moving so quickly. You just have time to settle yourself, and that is how you now pull guys away. So the issue that Chelsea had to move the ball quickly. Your boy Mount, he was all right. Mount actually had a decent game. But you now see why Ziyech is needed. Because Ziyech is a guy that's, okay, he's not going to bring in something different, something crazy, because you need imagination. Because for me, I told you, I am not a fan of wing play. I'm not a fan of width. Use width if you have to. If you're going to go wing, go across the ball, make it an intelligent cross. Please make it an intelligent cross. Please make it a cross that means something. Make it a cross that means something. Because if it's a cross that doesn't mean something, then what the hell is the point? Then what the hell is the freaking point? So let's just see what else guys are saying, man. I wouldn't say Mounts was amazing. Relax. Mounts was good. I mean, he was good because I think he had one nice chance which Loftus-Cheek should have scored, where he did a whole thing, came in through, put the ball through, and so forth. So he was good, but Chelsea can do better. My thing about it is that if Chelsea wants to win it all, and Chelsea wants to win the treble, because I think Chelsea's focus should be the treble. It should be all. Chelsea should be greedy. Remember, Abramovich didn't spend all this money just to compete. He spent this money to win. He's invested a lot of his hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, his money into winning, not competing. And in my view, Mount is a very good squad player. He's a very good squad player. But hopefully when Ziyech comes and you see what Ziyech brings, because Ziyech, look at what Ziyech is doing in the Champions League. Look at what Ziyech is doing at the very highest level of club football. That's the exciting thing, because I think when you just look at how Chelsea play and maybe how Lampard wants them to play, it gets me excited for Ziyech. It gets me excited for Sanchez. It gets me excited for Boy Werner, which is that let's play the ball through the middle, nice, intricate, smart, intelligent play. Smart, intelligent, imaginative play, because I think this team is still lacking imagination. You see sips of imagination here and there, but it's lacking imagination. And for me, I don't know whether he was not fully fit. I think Loftus-Cheek starting may not have been the right thing. I get why he wanted to start the Cheek, because he said what's up during a friendly game before this game. But because once you saw the sick come through, you now saw what he brings, because I think what you guys want and what Chelsea wants are wingers coming through, movements here and there. That's what you need. That's what you need. But look, Kante fouled my boy Grealish at least 20 times. It is what it is. Daniel, it is what it is, because it's called tactical fouls. It's called tactical fouls. And look, man, I feel sorry for Grealish, because I think, that's a really good player that's just in a very difficult situation. And there's very little he can do. When you're an attacking player and you have to do so much defending and your team is sitting so deep, it makes it very, very difficult for you to really be able to have any kind of impact in the game. But that foul that he did when Grealish was coming through, that was a great foul, because there are such things as great fouls, man. You see, I haven't seen much of tears. Man. So I wouldn't say, but the fact that tears is from that kind of like South America, Latin kind of side makes you say, well, let me look more at him, because I think, what Chelsea needed is, I want this team to play sexy football. That's what I want. I want this team to play sexy football. And I want this team to play imaginative football. That's what I want. All right, I think we've got our boy in here, man.
I mentioned only
Yo. Hey.
Once you get that
Forward. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear you? Good. So look, man, first of all, your assessments of this game. Who played well? Who played like Marcos Alonso? Overall general assessments in this game, and we can maybe go into detail to the stuff.
First of all that matters was just the result. As we've seen through the week, a lot of teams have been very rusty. A lot of teams have been trying to get into their groove, other than Man City, I guess. But again, for teams like us, we just have to make sure that the result was what was paramount today. So that was first thing that was great. In terms of who played well, there were some good performances. I thought Mount looked good in parts. I thought Kante did a really good job in the midfield. Again, that's a position that I want to see him grow in. I think he can do a much better job there in the future. But that's something that I think like a position like that is what is going to really add more years into his career, rather than being the box-to-box midfielder that we've known him to be. I think he can do a really good job as a single DM. In terms of who didn't play well, again, a lot of players were rushing and clearly you could see that we're lacking that match sharpness that we're used to seeing from them. Again, one that shot up to me was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He wasn't what we expected him to be. Again, obviously, given the fact that he's been out for a year, it's understandable. He was play like Alonso. Well, Alonso played like Alonso. But for me, the most worrying thing for today, yes, okay, Ruben wasn't what he would have liked to have been. Alonso was Alonso. Aspie had his moment, but did obviously contribute 2 assists. But the defense for me was what the big problem was, because in a game like this, where yes, we're not being clinical like we should be. The few chances that Aston Villa had, they were causing mayhem in our box, mayhem from the crosses that they were putting in from set pieces. Rudiger and Christensen did not look solid at all. So for me, I just look at Lampard and say, you know what, you need to figure out what your best defense is. Because for me, Zuma should 100% be in that back line. But again, I think we'll get more.
On there. Let me say, because I think this has been the real big thing of what is the best defensive pairing. You see, for me, I've said that because I was talking to a Chelsea guy about it, because he said, oh, no, Christensen is the best defender at Chelsea and Zuma is not that good. I've said, no, you're smoking crack, because Zuma is the best defender at Chelsea. So it's Zuma, and I liked what Tomori was doing. And unless I'm forgetting something, I can't remember many mistakes that Tomori made. Zuma has made a few. Christensen has made a few. Rudiger has made a few. I can't remember the amount of mistakes that Tomori has made. So, in your point of view, from where you're coming from, what do you think is the best defensive pairing for Chelsea?
For me, all of them have their own qualities in certain departments, but for me, the clear number one is Zuma. And again, maybe he's not the best on the ball, which is something that is clearly that Lampard favors. Whether he's not said it or not, from how he selected this team, it's clear that that's something he favors a lot. However, in terms of being a defensive rock at the back, being a leader at the back, someone who's going to be able to help us in the air, which is something that we struggle with a lot, Zuma brings that in spades. So for me, there's no way that he should not be starting. And alongside him, I wouldn't mind seeing a Tomori. They had a very good partnership. Even statistically, they've been our best partnership this season. So I don't know why that was broken up, other than for injuries. But again, once they were both back fit, I don't see any reason why we should have gone back to that back pairing. But again, you could have a Rudiger in there who, again, he has the most experience of the back four, but again, is very erratic, not great in the air at all. And you have Christensen, who makes a lot of mistakes like we saw today. Again, very easily, that could have been an equaliser at the end. He was caught lackadaisical at the end from the long ball. And even for the goal itself, his marking was absolutely poor. Again, I look at it and I think, an Atletico will never concede a goal like that because they're always quick to react to that second ball in the box. They're always going to be following in and making sure that if the keeper does make a save and it bounces out, they're going to be there to clear it. And especially when you have a keeper like Kepa, you got to expect that he's going to palm it out into the middle of the box. You got to be able to clear it. And again, it was poor from Christensen there. So again, for me, Zuma has to be the main starter. And again, a team like us where we're not clinical like we should be, and perhaps maybe we'll be that like from next season when we have the additions of Ziyech or Werner. Right now, it's important that we do keep the clean sheets in games like this where Villa pose very little attacking threat.
So now, I want to now talk about the attack and how Chelsea attack, because there are many different dimensions here. And just, give me your thoughts on this. For me, I feel that until Chelsea gets two dynamic, skilled left and right backs, they have to attack through the center. And I think what you need to do is quick, intricate passing. And for me, I always say that, I was never a big fan of tiki-taka Barcelona, but I liked the idea of it. So just like for me, I just thought that they passed the ball too many times, but I like the idea of the ball is kept on the ground and you're passing very quickly and you're going through the center, through the hearts of the fence. Obviously, you need to have the right players to do it, but I just think that once Ziyech is now coming through, hopefully when Loftus-Cheek now sort of gets his match sharpness, what Pulisic can do even as well, I think it would be best for Lampard to now really, this all starts from the training ground. On the training ground, work on triangles, quick, incisive passing to try and thus create space. Because I think the issue that I saw in the first half, maybe it's better the second, but especially in the first half, more to the second half, was the ball would just be put out wide to a Alonso or a Willian or an Azpilicueta, and they're just putting in an aimless cross in there. Or if they're going through, it is too predictable. And I think against a low block, because again, there's a tactic you play against a team that is attacking and has a high line, and there's tactic that you play when a team sits in deep. Because when you're now sitting deep, you have to now be moving the ball a lot more quickly. So how do you think, because that's my view, I think Chelsea should be attacking through the middle and having more guys around the 18-yard area. Because again, another issue I had was like, okay, a guy has the ball out wide, and you have guys like several yards away from him, all into the box. But then, okay, you're now going all into the box, but he's crossing into about 5, 6, 7, 8 Villa defenders. So you're not playing a numbers game. Instead of just using the numbers within you and slowly building up through passes to your own guy, then opening them up with a clever pass, with someone making an intelligent run from outside to therefore give him a better cross that has a better chance of getting to your strikers rather than a cross from 3,000 yards away. So that's to say what?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Barcelona play the way that they do, because they don't want to play the numbers game. They want to play, even from short corners, they rather pick the way so that way they can then make the right pass rather than just sending it into the box. And at that point, it's just a percentage of who's going to get onto the ball first. So for me, in terms of how we can play better through the middle, again, we don't have many players of that dimensions who want to play like that. Again, Mount was willing to do that a little bit and make it a bit quicker in there, but that's not really his natural game. He's good at it, but we need more in there if we're going to be able to do it. And other than him, nobody was really willing to take the ball in the half spaces and try and make those 1-2s or have any really quick combination play. Again, when we're playing like we are now, it can work, but we just need better delivery from the wide areas. Again, when you have someone like Reece James on the bench, maybe he's being held in rotation, who knows? But obviously with the Man City game in midweek to bear in mind. We have Alonso on the left, who wasn't whipping in any good crosses. Aspilicueta was shocking in the first half. Yes, granted, he got the 2 assists in the second half with some better balls into the box. But even then, with the amount of crosses that we're putting into the box, we should still be expecting a lot more. So it's difficult to say with the players that we have this season, because ultimately, I mean, you couldn't have been surprised at what happened in the first half. That's what we've seen so many times this season. I mean, just as recently as Newcastle, I think in February, where we have so much of the ball, we're dominating the entire game, and yet when it comes to finding that final pass, trying to create that clear opportunity, we're not creating that chance. And then obviously, and then we can see the goal on the counter attack or against the run of play. And although it's unfortunate, it's unlucky, it's happened too many times this season. So we're leaving up to chance way too often. So again, it's up to these players to try and find those opportunities more around the box. Take that risk. Go for the combination play, because ultimately we're just going out wide, crossing it in, and nothing is really happening. We need to try and create more clear-cut opportunities.
So basically, so Ziyech is obviously, Ziyech and Werner are in, man. So what do you think the best attacking lineup would be? Because again, like the good thing now is that you now have a lot to think about and so forth. And from what, because again, I don't really watch the Eredivisie that much, but from what I've seen of Ziyech is I think that he's a guy that can play multiple midfield positions. And he's maybe a guy who shouldn't really be restricted to have a specific role. Because therefore, I think what Chelsea should be doing is where it's fluid and it's very unpredictable. So with Werner coming in and Ziyech coming in, who would be the 3 midfield and the 3 attackers then, from your view?
For me, it's not even a 3 and a 3 for me. It could very easily be a midfield 2 as a pivot, and then you have a front 3, or a midfield 3 rather, that's behind the lone striker. And again, for me, how I would shape it, it does depend on certain games, but I would like Lampard to keep a consistent lineup. Again, that's how the best teams get through. They get through based on consistency. But for me, you'd have a midfield 2, a Kante and Kovacic. I mean, there's no dispute there. And then in your 3 behind, you have Ziyech roaming off the right. Yes, he can rotate. He can play as a number 10, but I think he's best when he's off the right, where he can now, he's not fixed to one position, but he can roam around the midfield and he can dictate play from there. And obviously, you would have Reece James overlapping on the right, which would be beautiful to watch, honestly. So then obviously at number 10, then you have options like Mason Mount, you have Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who can play in that position. But obviously off the left, which is the most important part of why we're playing this way, is you can have Werner off the left, because he doesn't play as a natural striker in Leipzig. I think he's maybe only played once there in the last 2 seasons as a natural striker.
Because they were saying in front of the he would not have to battle. Tammy Abraham would not have to sort of battle Werner for that striker's position. So you think that's no. Werner is the left-sided attacker.
Yes, that is his role to play. Again, unless we're going to play a 4-4-2, which again this can be kind of, especially off the ball. I always see Werner being as the left forward. For me, Abraham's competition is only going to be Giroud as the main striker. That's about it. For me, Werner's got to be playing off the left, kind of as a front 2, but obviously when we're on the ball, maybe we'll drift out the left a bit and have be more like as the inside forward. So again, in games where we want to play a 4-3-3 and maybe be a bit more conservative, maybe in the bigger games, then Ruben drops in as a number 8. You have Kovacic on the right, and then Kante as the DM, and then you have Werner off the left, Ziyech on the right, and then either Tammy Abraham or Giroud today, he was really good up front. So for me, that's how we're gonna get to the next level as a team, because you see today a lot of fans even watching us, rival fans, they were like, Chelsea are dominating this game. We're in complete control, but we lack that cut in head.
Now, this is why we say, and I think I remember Mourinho even saying it, because I think it was Inter against Barcelona, and he was saying that the team that has possession isn't in control. He said that even if we didn't have possession of the ball, we were in control of the game. So from your point of view, and I think this has always been the issue with Chelsea, and I think this is almost like a footballing lesson that I say to people, is that possession of the ball is a misconception. It's what you do with that possession of the ball. See, what made Barcelona so dangerous during their heyday was, yes, they had high possession, but they were making the ball do serious work. And they were really putting the defense under serious pressure by just how quickly they were moving the ball around. So even if the defense had the ball, they were being moved around so much and had to do so much desperate defending that that possession sort of worked for them. But the issue with this is that my thing is it has to be possession with intent. Hence why, which is why, from your point of view, my thing that Chelsea need, there are 2 key areas that they need. 2 key areas. Attacking wise, I still think that they need a really strong central defender, but let's just see what Tomori and so do. But I think they need 2 key guys. A left back. That is primary. A left back that knows how to cross the ball. And a left back who actually has a brain, because Alonso, I don't think he has a brain. I don't know what happened where he was born. And I think he was born without a brain. you know, and I think Chelsea need a creative player. Because that's my thing. Do Chelsea actually have a creative player? Somebody who knows how to produce chances and who knows how to execute through balls and who knows how to play the ball through those very tight spaces. Do they have that? Because is it Mount? Is it Loftus-Cheek? So
for me, how I see it personally is Ziyech is meant to be that creative guy who's going to be creating our chances again. He had the most creative chances in the Eredivisie last season. So that's somebody who's going to bring that creativity, that natural playmaking ability to the team, because Mount and Ruben, they are attacking midfielders, but not necessarily number 10s. They're not like your creative playmakers. They're not that kind of player. And
they're not pass specialists.
Yes, they're not passing specialists. Exactly that. And for me, again, yes, the left back is what we definitely need. Again, we've been linked to the likes of Tagliafico, potentially a Tellers as well. Personally, I would like to just see us put 50 million down on Bayern and say, what's up with Alaba? Does he really want to be a centre back for the rest of his career, or does he want to play as a left back? So maybe he will come to us, but we'll see with that. But certainly we do need an improvement there. And I think the main thing that we need, as well as those two positions, is also an inside forward, which we've got now in Werner, because you look at all the best teams in the world, this a PSG, a Man City, a Liverpool, they all have the inside forwards who are getting those goals, whether it's a Salah, a Mane, a Sterling, an Mbappe, a Neymar. And hopefully, again, I'm not saying Werner's at that level now, but he can grow into that. Again, he's only 24 years of age. He's got, I think, the second most goals and assist contribution in the Bundesliga, from I think only behind Lewandowski, one of the highest numbers in Bundesliga history, in fact. So that's somebody who has the potential to go and get big numbers in the Premier League, whether it's goals and assists. So for me, if you got somebody like him who's a goal scorer off the left, you got Ziyech who's a playmaker on the right, and you have an actual natural goal scorer, whether that's Abraham or Giroud up front. That's goals. And again, in games like today where we are dominating possession, there is intent, but it's not necessarily us consistently creating clear chances.
I'm not seeing enough creativity. I'm seeing possession of the ball, but it's too slow, it's too pedantic, and it's too predictable. And I think, again, as well, it's like, for instance, this team, I think, would do very well against a very attacking team. So that's why I'm looking forward to Thursday to see the game against City, because, okay, now Chelsea will now have space. So it now makes sense to play Itame Abraham. But for me, also, for football, you need to have two setups. How you play against an attacking team, so can you counter very well, and how you play against a defensive team. You have to have two completely different tactics for those. Even if you have the same philosophy, I'm sure Pep has the same philosophy, but it is slightly tweaked when he plays against a defensive team. It's slightly tweaked when he plays against a team of his level who now want to attack, i.e. in a Champions League. So Chilwell is not any better than Alonso defensively. What? And Tagliafico is 10 times the player. So, see, for me, Chilwell would not be my first choice, because I think I need a left back with some swag. I don't think Chilwell has enough swag and enough sauce on that left back. Thoughts on Chilwell? Is it the guy that Chelsea should be going for, or is it just a case of anything is better than Alonso?
I mean, I think what Stu MC is alluding to is obviously Chilwell's performance the other day against Watford, where he was getting roasted consistently by Sarr, and I mean, that's as bad as I've seen Chilwell defensively, and I'm not a big fan of Chilwell, honestly. I mean, I thought he is very similar to Alonso, and funny enough, his performance against Watford was quite poor, and it's saved by a goal. Who does that ring a bell of? Alonso, right? So for me, he's not the fullback that I want to see come to us, especially with the English premium, which would mean that we're going to spend maybe 70 or 80 million on him. And I prefer someone like a Tagliafico or Tellers, or again, for me, an Alaba. I think an Alaba, again, he doesn't want to be a centre-back for the rest of his career. So again, for me, if you look at the clubs that could maybe want to make a move for him, potentially PSG, potentially Man United, or I don't know how serious they're going to be. So if we put in 50 million for him and promise that we're not going to go after any more Bundesliga players over the next few years, then he could come to us for sure.
So thinking putting a bid for Alaba, who doesn't want to play centre back?
Yes, because Alphonso Davies is going to be the left back for Bayern for the next 10 years, comfortably. And Alaba is not really a centre back. Again, he could play in most midfields around Europe.
Yeah, but we can see that he doesn't enjoy playing there. He doesn't enjoy playing there. So, but for me, so what would be the number one? What should be the number one priority now? Like the number one thing that Chelsea should be going for now? Because I think that the number one priority should be a left back, and a left back who I would say what I would like. Now, beggars can't be choosers and so forth. But what I would like is a skillful left back who is adept and now final thing and can cross. Now, obviously, you want somebody who can defend. That is us. But somebody who is it's almost like this, like how you play Football Manager. Give me like a 13 for tackling or positioning 13, 14, but give me like crossing 18, dribbling 17, balance like 17. Then I can deal with like a 13 stroke 14 tackling position because that's just enough just to hold things down because Kansas still be there. So what do you think is the main priority that Chelsea should be heading in for?
I mean, honestly, I don't see it as one priority. I think our priority should be taking us to the next level, whether that's being a top four cemented team or challenging for the title. And for me, it can't just be just a left back. It can't be just a centre back. It has to be a left back, potentially a centre back if we don't get the Seaman situation sorted. And also, most importantly, okay, I'm kind of cheating there, but I think what's very, very important is a goalkeeper because we saw today again, very little work to do. Kepa makes that save, really should be pushing it out wide, if not catching it. And obviously they scored a goal from that. So for me, if we're going to, again, people are talking about us, if we get Ziyech, Werner, potentially Havertz, we could be title contenders. Absolutely not. If we have Kepa and goal, we're never going to be title contenders.
Yeah.
Never.
So I want to talk about Pulisic. Say Pulisic deserves to start in this team. You see, now maybe Pulisic didn't start because he wasn't fully fit yet or so forth. But I just do hope because see, I was one of the first people that championed that this American, this dude can play. This dude knows how to play. I'm thinking about Pulisic is okay. He's not world class. He'll never be tier one. He'll never be opposite. He'll never be like one of the best players in the world in his position. But he is a really good player, and I think he can be a really good piece. You know what? I liken Pulisic to what Pedro was for Barcelona. Pedro was never seen as a world-class guy or a world-class talent, but he was a very, very important piece and a very important cog into that whole Barcelona thing. So do you think Pulisic's best position is wide left or as a number 10? Because things that if he's a number, see, my thing is this is that because see, this is where it now gets interesting. Yeah. So if he left, you're not telling me Werner that Werner is better on the left. But if you not tell me number 10, I want my number 10 to be a pass specialist who can create and who can offer balls through balls to the oncoming wing back or play one-twos with him, but a thinker, an orchestrator. So for you, what is the best position for a sick?
I mean, I think his best position definitely is number 10. Obviously, for right now, without Werner in the team, I think that left wing spot is his, and rightfully so. Again, it's obviously very difficult to second guess Lampard and his decision making with the 11s that he's picking. Obviously, with the whole coronavirus issue. But obviously, other than a Zuma situation, which he should be starting. But again, for me, it is very interesting to have the idea of Pulisic as the number 10 because he did very good work there for Dortmund at number 10. His best football that I've seen him play isn't an American shirt when he's played number 10 for America at being really the linchpin, the talisman for the team. So, I mean, could you imagine that? Werner on the left, Ziyech on the right, and Pulisic in the middle. That has goals in it. It has a lot of goals in it, man. So that's what I want to see. And for that person who just sent a message there, no, I did not steal anybody's agenda. I was advocating for Kepa for a long time, but I mean, I saw through the cracks early on, man. It's not good. He's not the one at all. He's not the one. We got finessed. Guys, remember, we were out there looking for Alisson at the beginning. We wanted to get Alisson in. But then, obviously, once we were trying to see if we could sort out the Courtois situation with his contract, we found out that he was going to leave. We were stumped for a goalkeeper. We needed to get somebody in. And who decided to advocate that we should go and get Kepa? Pepe Reina, a Liverpool legend. We got duped. It's as simple as that. We got duped.
I don't know why Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Chelsea paid that much for what is essentially a break.
That was his release course. I mean, we were desperate at the time, and we thought he might suit Sarri's favorite football. We got Sarri out in under a year, and now look at us. We're stuck with this guy in goal. It's a shambles.
Yeah. Okay. So, where do you stand with Rudiger? Because my thing with Rudiger is that he is a decent defender, but I think now I'm seeing like a few cracks in the armor.
A few, just a few.
Look, look, man. We have to support our black brother, man. Black lives, all that kind of. That's what our black.
Look here. When I watch football, I don't see black, white. I just see people in it, man. It ain't that deep when it comes to the football. Outside of that, that's
all lives matter. Okay. Sorry. But seriously speaking, you see, like I mean. Because I used to defend him before, and for me, the reason why I defended him is because I think Chelsea don't have a leader, and they badly need a leader. Azpilicueta is not a leader; he's not. He's just given the captain's armor because he's been there the longest, but he's not a leader. And Rudiger is the closest thing to a leader. But I think Rudiger is problematic, and it is And see, the thing though is this is what Lampard needs to understand is when you're in an attacking team, which is why Puyol was so important, or at a point Mascherano was so important. When you're in an attacking team, you have to have very high IQ defenders who know how to read the game. So, do you think it's a case of where Rudiger, sell him, it's done, or just keep him in within the squad and so forth for team morale?
I mean, for me, don't get me wrong. Rudiger is a very good squad member for this team. I mean, I wouldn't sell him under any circumstances. Again, I think even as like a third centre back, he would be a great option to have. Now, the reason why I've not been in favour of him is because he makes a lot of defensive mistakes. He's quite erratic. Again, for a black man, he really can't jump at all. It's quite shocking in the air. But what he does offer to the team, and again, it was good being able to actually finally find a channel which doesn't have the fake crowd noise, which is absolutely awful. That artificial noise is terrible.
Actually, no. The DJ was all right. The crowd
they're getting better at being sharper.
Okay. I mean, it was a bit cheesy, but it was okay. It was better than the other one that I saw.
Look, the idea of it, I'm just not a fan of it at all. Again, I'd rather listen to the actual player commands because you learn a lot from it. Again, watching a Tottenham United game, you get to listen to who the real on-field vocal leaders are. And with Chelsea today, the only person that I could really hear consistently shouting a lot was Rudiger. So you can actually hear that, you know what, he is one of the on-field leaders, which is why I'm sure Lampard likes him a lot in the team. But again, in terms of his actual defending attributes, he's just not as good as someone like Zuma. He's not as consistent. He makes a lot of mistakes. Again, his passing can be good at times, but even that can be very erratic, as we saw today. So again, for me, he's somebody that you would like to have in your squad for sure. But overall, again, for this team, yes, I understand that he has more leadership skills than most. But in general, that's not enough for me to say that he should be a guaranteed starter week in, week out. For me, Zuma's got to be the starter. And then if you want to put Rudiger alongside him, cool. Tomori, cool. Christensen, I'm a bit iffy on him, but we'll see. But for me, Zuma's number one, and you find a partner for him.
Okay, so I think guys are trolling here. Chelsea miss Luis. Chelsea miss David. Okay, so obviously you guys are obviously trolling.
Okay. No, but I mean, there's something in that because with him playing out from the back.
No, Ford.
No. Let me land. Okay, chill, HH, chill. Look, there's something in that. I'm not saying Luis is at his prime anymore. I'm definitely not saying that, but we do miss his leadership because, as you can see, even in some interviews he's had for Arsenal, you can see he's a leader. You can see he's I don't want to say a born winner, but he's been at the mountaintop of football. He's played in a World Cup semi-final. He's won a Champions League. He's been there and he's done it. So he brings that experience and also that confidence from the back of being able to play from the back. And on his day, he's a very good defender. Again, he makes a lot of mistakes, which is why right now Arsenal fans are going through the most. But it is what it is. But I feel like we need to replace his presence in that team. And I think Rudiger hasn't filled that spot. Zuma hasn't been able to fill that spot clearly for whatever reason. Lampard doesn't rate him as highly as I do, and a lot of the fans do. So maybe that's something else we need to look at in the summer. Maybe we go and buy somebody else there. Again, it's a lot of players to buy, buying a left back, a centre back, a keeper, these forwards that we're buying. But at the same time, we've been out of the market for a year now. We've had time to keep that money in. We've got the Hazard set, we've got the Bakayoko drinking water money coming in, Morata money coming in. All these players coming in, that money coming in. I mean, why can't we go and spend the money on 6, 7, 8 players? There's no reason why we can't do that because if we want to compete with Liverpool, Man City, we're going to have to do that.
Okay. One question I want to ask you before we go, so we can watch this. Watch Liverpool lose to Everton. I mean, watch Liverpool.
We're not going to lose, man. You know.
Wait. So what app do you use to view pictures? I go to Google. I open up Google, and that's how I put up the picture. I just go to Google, and I use share screen, and that's how I use it. I just use share screen on Google. Can you please tell these people about Kante? Because I opened it up because I think some people are disrespecting a potential horseman. People are disrespecting a good, and that's one of the nicest guys before us because I never really understand how people don't appreciate what Kante is. It's almost as if once Kante has like one bad game or does something a mistake, oh my gosh, how good is he really? Because people don't want to accept that he can defend, he can intercept, he's intelligent, he can keep all the ball, he can pass the ball, he's a smart player, he can score goals, he can do every single thing on the flipping pitch while having a nice smile on his face. So can you just please remind the people about how valuable Kante is and why Kante is one of the most valuable players in this world?
I mean, for a start, he is our only undisputably world-class player. Again, somebody who's won the World Cup, who helped drag Leicester to a Premier League title. I mean, this guy's got unprecedented feats of world-class ability. It's crazy. I mean, even this season alone, where he's been been out through with a lot of injuries because he was overplayed by Sarri, especially that Europa League final where he played that in pretty much one leg over 90 minutes, and also bossed that final against Torreira, sent him on crying as well. Tell me, do you remember a better single performance this season other than Kante's against Liverpool in a Super Cup? Because I can't remember one. Certainly from a midfielder, I don't remember one that was better than Kante's this season. So again,
that guy was glowing people all over that whole thing, man.
Yes. So for me, again, there's no dispute over it. I think people have been kind of questioning his ability, his staying power in terms of how many injuries he's been picking up. But I think if you manage him properly and you trying to transform him into being a DM, then he can do a job there. Because we saw today in that first half, he was picking passes again. There's absolutely no problem with his ability to pass the ball, his technical ability to control the ball. He's got that on lock. My only thing with Kante, which he can improve on, which I believe he will improve upon, is actually being kind of like a dictator in that role. Because obviously where Jorginho excels in that role is he's able to find the angles to receive the ball. And he's able to then, okay, now he sees the picture ahead of him and he's really looking up and trying to evaluate his options. Kante will kind of play the first ball that's on, but not really try and take control of the game in a sense. He's happy to receive it if he's there, but he needs to try and do a better job of making angles to receive the ball and help his team kind of
because he's not a midfield specialist.
Yes,
he does many different jobs. Because Jorginho is a specialist in that position. When you're a specialist, you just naturally know what those angles are. So what he wants from Kante, he wants him to be a specialist, or they want him to be multifaceted.
The thing is, when people see him, they think, "Oh, he's the new Makelele," but no, he's not actually a Makelele. He doesn't play the role. But the thing is, he needs to try and now transform into being that, because that will add a few more years onto his career, being that single DM where he doesn't have to go box to box all the time. And for me, I feel like he can do that role. He's got the passing to do it. He's got the engine to do it. I think he needs to obviously be a bit more louder on the pitch, because like hearing him today, I didn't hear him at all today, even with my headphones blasted up. Like, he isn't very the most vocal on the pitch, not really like a natural leader, but maybe he can grow into that in his career with the right coaching. So we'll see. But again, for me, there's absolutely no doubt that he's going to be, he is our most important player right now. And especially in big games where we're going to see what it's like when he's being pressed a bit more in that position. Maybe we'll then see a bit more what he can do. But obviously, we know in big games how important it is for us defensively and going forward. It's incredible. Again, let's not forget the goal he scored against Liverpool at home this season. Amazing solo goal again. So, of course, you doubt Kante, I doubt you and your footballing opinions, 100%. It's ridiculous.
So before we go forward, we're gonna have to resume our live watch. Because remember, August is where it pops off. August, Champions League, it's now like a World Cup thing, one and done. We have to bring back those live watches because your man, your idol Neymar, is on watch.
I told you what's going to happen.
Are you still sticking with PSG winning the sale, or do you want to revoke that pick, especially with this new format now?
They were my pick. They and Liverpool are my picks. Obviously, Liverpool's crushed out, which I fucking loved. But yeah, I'm still picking PSG to win it, man. So we're going to find a way to do it. We're both going to get tested. We'll have like a socially distant, get some more space in that room, get a second chair in there. We'll get it sorted out. We'll do a little sign.
Guys, all right, guys, we're out, man. Peace out. Stay true and whatever. Yeah, peace. Peace out. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube contents by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.